Hello, my fellow comic book brethren, or contributors, or creators, whatever you want to call it. Welcome to a new video series I'm going to start, and it's called Indie is Where It's At. Now, the reason why I decided to do this video series is due to the fact that, I subscribe to, I think I'm subscribed to about, I'm going to say maybe a total of 30 YouTube channels involving YouTube, not just YouTube creators, but also comic book creators who have funded their campaigns through Indiegogo or Kickstarter, and are great creators in their own right. But they tend to always talk about the state of the industry and how it's going to fall, how it's destructing, how it's going to be destroyed, how people are the SJWs are ruining it and everything and all that stuff. So I didn't want to add to the noise, because there's already plenty of it. There's already a lot of it going on. So what I wanted to do with this series was focus primarily on the comic book stuff, the indie comic book world. And what do I mean by that? Well, I guess to put it plainly is I'm going to focus on the projects that are out there that are part of the indie comic book scene, because indie is where it's at. I've always said that. I've tweeted out plenty of times. By the way, if you have not followed me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. It's at _lucid_comic. And I've tweeted a few times here and there that the corporate mainstream comic book industry is dead. Yes, they're dead. They're dying. They're a bunch of crap. I'm not going to deny that. And I always say, look towards indie, because that's where it's at. That's where it's at. There's a bunch of great talent out there. Clint Stoker, Ethan Van Sciver. Even though you may not like this person or you may not like this group, but War Campaign has a few good books out there. Bullet Maker, I can't wait for Bullet Maker. If you guys have not seen preview pages of Bullet Maker, guys, you're missing out, because Bullet Maker is freaking phenomenally great. Well, at least the pages. I don't know about the story. That comes later, right? So I decided to focus on, indie. And this first inaugural episode is about 656 Comics. Now, 656 Comics is a group of comic book creators based off El Paso, Texas, and Juarez, Mexico. Great dudes. They always invite me on their streams. I'm always talking about them. I'm always talking about movies and comic books with them. They always educate me on the B horror movies that I never heard of, and it's great to get that knowledge. So I decided to have them as my first, I guess you could say, episode of this series, because I think they are producing one of the finest comic books that are out there that I hope that it's going to blow up. And I think it already has blown up. And the book that I'm going to talk about today is the Cryptidnals. Now, they've shown me pages of this book that they did not post on their Indiegogo campaign. Guys, let me just say, this book is top notch, and I would consider it personally as a Image comic level comic book. I'm not gonna back down from that statement, and I'll show you a little bit when I show the campaign. But I just want to plug their Twitter account, because they're on Twitter. They're at 656 Comics. Follow them if you have not already, because they're producing some of the best work that I've seen so far in the indie comic book scene. Yes, they are Latinos, but this book, The Cryptidnals, has nothing to do with Latinos. It has everything to do with monsters, cryptid monsters, Bigfoot, Yeti, Skinwalkers, the Chupacabras, the Mothman, so on and so forth. This book is going to be a hodgepodge of all that stuff. And if you have not heard of this book, check it out. And if you like what you see, back it. Don't be afraid to back this book. This book is worth every penny, in my opinion. So 656 Comics, like I said, it's a group of guys from El Paso and Juarez, and they're very passionate about their work. And if you have not followed them on Twitter, like I said, follow them on Twitter. It's at 656 Comics, and they have good stuff. They always post good things about comics. They always just very positive, and they're serious about their work. And that's what we want, right? We want that for indie comics. We want serious professionals in the scene. We don't want amateurs. We want professional quality creators in the indie comic book scene, because that's where it's at, right? Like I said. So I would recommend Cryptidnals, and I would recommend you follow them on Twitter, because they do produce a bunch of good stuff. So here's their page, Cryptidnals. Great. Look at this, $6,000. 8 days left on the campaign. They had a fixed goal of 3,000 and they met their goal. They doubled it, because, like I said, it's great stuff. Sorry, I was just checking to see. I heard noises back there, and I'm alone, and I'm talking about monsters and stuff, so I heard a noise. I kind of like, well, huh? So, anyways, as I was saying, Cryptidnals. Check out this artwork. I'm gonna show you this artwork. This is one of the covers, the Mothman cover by Raymond Gay, and colors by Oliver Lee. Oliver Lee is the Samoa Joe looking guy whenever you check out their YouTube channel. Great cover, fantastic cover right here. And check, this is another cover by Aurelio Mazzara, and the colorist again was Oliver Lee. And the story is, cryptids live among us, monsters, myth and fable, some gods, some devils. These things are what our fear of the dark is based upon, and every culture around the world has their own stories about the beasts in their own backyards. That's why I checked my own backyard, because I heard a noise. I got scared. But what if the stories and legends are truer than we believe? What if these abnormalities have their own secret society that has been around since the dawn of man? Furthermore, what if that society is being threatened by new horrors arising from the ethereal realm of cyberspace, with evil tulpas emanations created through the power of belief? Enter the Cryptidnals, monsters who have been criminalized by human society for existing, the first and only line of defense against the incursion of otherworldly evil. Fantastic. Just that alone should get you to be like, whoa, what is this? This is pretty cool. And check out this freaking gnarly artwork, man. And they thought about coloring this book, by the way. And I said, don't do it. You're gonna ruin it if you color this book. Keep it the way it is, because it has a Bernie Wrightson feel to it. And of course, Bernie Wrightson is one of the most revered comic book artists of all time, at least for me anyway. I mean, just the amount of line detail is amazingly. I'm a loss of words. In other words. But I mean, look at the line work. It's amazing. Dario, I think the artist's name is Dario. I don't want to ruin his last name. Dario Rodriguez. So he has been hitting it out of the park with this artwork, and the artwork alone should just be enough for you guys to purchase or back the campaign. And this Dogman character, the more they talk about this, the more Ray, the writer of the book, explained to me who the character was, the more I started to like him. The more I was like, hey, I kind of like this character. I want to know more about this Dogman character. And the way Ray described him to me was his version of Wolverine, which is that's all I needed to say, because Wolverine's one of my favorite characters in comic book lore of all time. And so yeah, look at that. Look at this beautiful artwork. So if you have not backed this, back it, and don't hesitate to do it. And so, with that said, Indie's where it's at. You have a good night.
Welcome to The Ghetto Dragon, Book 1, No Good Deed, a 60-plus page story about a young man named Matt Guerra, who saves an underage girl from being kidnapped by a heartless, gruesome gang named Los Valientes, who will stop at nothing to protect their street cred. Follow Matt as he pays the consequences of his good deed with his fists, causing Los Valientes to turn their sights on his family. Does our hero back down, or does he stand his ground? Join us in this martial arts adventure that involves action, drama, a little romance, and tragedy. Follow Julius Freeman on Twitter and Facebook for the latest updates. Also, check out his YouTube channel and subscribe, where you can join him in exploring the rich history behind the creation of the Ghetto Dragon. Help make it happen for the Ghetto Dragon, Book 1, No Good Deed. You won't regret it.